Well, Dr. Chima Naji joins us this morning. He's a public affairs analyst and a lawyer. Morning, and thank you for coming on today.
Good morning, and Baraka Risala.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Well, interestingly, this is it's gone viral. I mean, look at Twitter. Everyone talking about this, everyone who can access the account. This one is speaking of this. We heard comments from the first public relations officer. We heard from the commissioner of police how they needed to act decisively and swiftly on this one. But first of all, give us your impression of this entire scenario, even before the identity theft comes in.
Let me first and foremost thank God for social media. You see, I have always believed that a day like this will come in our life experience where events will be somehow beyond our ability to deny or somehow manipulate to the discomfiture of the entire social environment. This particular video, the police authorities could not find any explanation to put it under the carpet. So the best thing was to dispense with this guy.
I think it was too hot to handle.
Too hot.
To cover up.
So the first and best thing was to dispense with him. But I think they should go further. Because if it is true now that this actually was not the name of the actual man we saw on that video, something must be fishy somewhere. Is that Omeleze a police officer? Had he ever served? If he never served as a police officer, how did it come? They said that he was his classmate. I don't know what school, whether he was in the secondary school or primary school or whatever.
In Demily Grammar School.
Okay, fine. Why did he choose the name of this guy and not another classmate? For how long has he been using this name, and for what purpose? What name did he use in entering or enlisting with the Nigerian police? And what is the name on his tag? There are a number of questions that need to be asked and facts to be unraveled. And it was too frenetic for the police PRO, the PPRO, to just jump and say that there was no senior officer involved and all that. You understand? I don't think it was very necessary to really, because many Nigerians know that bribery is not just something at the level of sergeants or corporals. We have seen DPOs. We have seen higher ranking officers in the police, by which I do not mean that every police officer is corrupt, not even the small ones, the lower ranks. So the first thing would have been to establish whether this guy was acting on somebody's instruction or supervision. Was he in a team? Because there are sometimes police officers are on their own frolic. Maybe two of them, they have gone and they just decide to do a checkpoint, an illegal checkpoint. Even contrary to the obvious directive given by the Inspector General of Police that they should no longer do this corner bet, because that job is so juicy. Somebody waking up by 5 a.m., maybe in the rain, to go to Djibou, those spots that you have high traffic, is not in the interest of the job, but we know it's in the interest of their family. So I think Nigerians should be encouraged to use the video cameras, telephone cameras and so on. Even if it is audio, it makes life easier. And let us begin to correct some of these social ills. Look at how they were pricing this thing as the guy was pricing goat.
So they were haggling like...
what was his investment in that particular product that he was haggling on price? That's very disgraceful. And that's what we see every day.
Well, anyway, as we leave this, we want to look at the ASUU issue now, perhaps maybe because a whole lot is tied to our education system. There's nothing we'll talk about. For instance, now we have an education system, the grammar school that produced this individual and how he got that particular certificate which he used. Now, the Academic Staff Union of Universities, that's another issue. We talked about it yesterday. We've been looking at it, and as we speak, well, there's just no positive news coming from any side. We keep hearing stories, it will soon be called off. And here we are again on a holiday like this, we're still not back in school. What do you make of this culture of strikes by unions in our institutions?
They say if you want me to behave like a monkey, you give me banana. I don't know whether you get the point, my drift. If you want me as a human being to behave like a monkey, give me banana. If you don't want strikes, because strikes lie in the domain of paternalism in management of affairs of men. When you are paternal, you make the child out of the person you are managing. And how do you know the child? He weeps when he is cornered somehow. He behaves funny. He becomes queremonious. He complains over things. There are things that you should, by foresight, if you are a good manager, see that they are necessary to be put in place. And I hear some arguments that there were some agreements reached years back by some people in government, carrying what looks like legitimacy of the government authority to such negotiations, except to the extent that either with hindsight, it was found that they negotiated themselves away, which is a case of gross incompetence that should call for discipline. Some of them may still be in service. Now, even if they are no longer in service, they are drawing pension. Somebody should ask questions. But having made that agreement, why would you want to renege?